Hey, Catalyst crew. Welcome to Catalyst Corner, episode 50. Oh, 50 episodes. It's Thursday, so we've got Jim F0123 Art on with us, and yeah, let's get into it. 50 episodes, Jim.
That's 50 episodes. Crazy.
Oh my goodness. The AI is going to have no problem deep faking our voice.
Yeah, no. At this point, we don't even need to show up anymore.
No. Yeah. You know,
someone else will do it for us.
6-10 more months, the computer's just going to...
Yeah. All of a sudden, one day, we're going to look and there's going to be like 10 or 15 episodes brand new that we never did. Like, who are those? You're just getting done
just
for us
the
now.
Opposite shit that we've been building up.
Exactly.
Yeah. How you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
Doing okay. The weather's nice.
Turning nice finally.
It's good. I'm happy about that.
Yep.
You know, had a couple of hiccups with the phone and the AC unit, but you know, got that back on top.
Good.
Got sales are picking up.
Yeah, sales are back up,
they're
which
back
is nice.
So appreciate that, guys.
Yep.
And 50th episode.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, very excited.
So I caught something I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
So I wasn't even going to watch this.
Yeah.
And now I've heard through, rumblings through the grapevine and everything that it's good.
Okay.
But I don't know, it just wasn't really, it was 10 episodes, they're an hour apiece. Like, that's a commitment or whatever.
Right.
So, but my partner threw it on and I missed like the first episode and I had my headphones on, so I was half watching it, but it's called Beef.
Okay. Yes,
on
I've heard of this.
So that's got Ali Wong and Steven, what the hell is his name? Steven Yeun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
The Walking Dead.
Yeah, from The Walking Dead. Exactly. That was the only thing that I was like, well, I liked him when he was on it as Glenn.
Sure.
Like, whatever, I'll check it out. It was so fucking good.
Really?
Oh, I loved it.
Really?
It's
okay.
Like, honestly, it was really, really good.
Wow.
Steven Yeun is a great actor.
He is. He's very good.
He should be getting more work. I'm going to say that.
Well, he's in Marvel's coming up in the Thunderbolts.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So,
but
he's always going to have work.
He's solid. I've seen him at a couple...
Invincible.
Listen, I've seen him at a few Comic-Cons. Seems like a really nice, down-to-earth dude.
Absolutely.
But... yeah, the show kind of caught me off guard because it has there's some problematic. I guess. Do you know who David Cho is?
No.
Okay, so David Cho is an artist.
Okay.
Right, and he painted a mural for Facebook, like way back in the day, right? And so Facebook said to this guy, "Your choices are: we'll pay you, we'll pay you like $5,000 or whatever he was charging for the mural, or we'll give you stock."
Oh, I think I'm familiar with this story. Go ahead.
So he took the stock, and he's a multi-millionaire now, right? So, but he's, my initial exposure to him was from that Anthony Bourdain show, Parts Unknown or whatever, and he seemed rad. I was like, oh, this guy's kind of fun. There's a little danger to him, because he's out of the game, like he can do whatever the fuck he wants, and. He's pretty funny in this.
Is he?
But like a couple of months before this came out, shit surfaced on a podcast in 2014 of him saying like, "Oh, I kind of, forced a masseuse to, and there were no repercussions, and like people are very angry about that."
Sure.
Right? But he was funny in it. So that, there's kind of that conflict there.
Yeah.
Ali Wong, very attractive. I'm into her.
Okay.
Like, didn't know.
Sure, right.
But it's really funny. And the story's basically, without getting into it too much because it's long, it's about basically these two people that are incredibly unhappy.
Okay.
Right? In their separate lives.
Yeah.
And, they interact at the beginning. And it basically... starts with a road rage incident.
Yeah.
Right? And it just goes off the rails. They basically are coming at each other from different angles for the entire show, trying to fuck with each other's lives and everything. It was funny. It was existential. It was topical, philosophical. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Nice. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, if you have the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to cancel Netflix because they're talking about that password thing again.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what a great way to lose a third of your subscribers.
But I mean, how many times are they going to say that and then
they're pushing
hear what the repercussions are going to be?
To Europe and stuff, Q2.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is that shit isn't going to fly here in America.
No, definitely not.
Or do it, and I'm out.
Well, most people are going to be out.
But yeah, no, highly recommend Beef.
Nice.
Yeah, really, really good. I just, like I said, the Lee Sung-jin created it. Like, it's just very, it's different. It was a good change of pace.
Nice. How
about you? You watch anything?
Yeah, I watched I'd classify this as a B-level horror movie called Wolf Creek.
Ooh.
You familiar with this one?
Yeah, I like Wolf Creek.
Yeah.
It takes place in Australia, right?
Yeah. So, three.
That's an older one.
It's a little bit older. I know a part 2 has come out. I haven't watched the part 2 yet because again, this is loosely based on a real story.
Yeah,
I don't know the part 2 really isn't. It's that gets a little bit wacky, but so the premise is three young, guy and 2 girls that travel and they want to go camping, and the whole premise of when you go to what's called Wolf's Creek, and here in our area, we have the same thing, right? You park down at the mouth of the hiking trail, and then you go up into the mountains or the woods
go to, like,
or
the
whatever.
Kangamangas or something like that. Yeah.
So we're familiar with, what that is.
Yeah,
right?
It's just your typical national park kind of stuff.
So what happens is that, you come back and the car doesn't work, right? So the car doesn't work. Guy comes along, hey, I'm a mechanic. I'll tow you to my place and I'll fix your car for you.
House of 1,000 corpses.
Yeah. And it's like, hey, let's break bread, right? We'll fix the car. We'll have a little bit of a meal. We'll have, this Australian hospitality, right? This guy is
you're like,
great guy.
He's a great Aussie. He's a great, he's a great cunt, as they would say.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden, you pass out, you wake up, and you're in bondage.
Right. So he's not a great cunt. He's a cunt.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you one thing. My favorite thing in Australia is that cunt can be positive or negative.
Right. Absolutely.
Yep.
And so, obviously the torture begins.
Naturally.
He kills the 2 girls. The guy gets away.
Oh, he's a psycho.
And the whole thing of it is,
do you like when they kind of subvert it with the guy getting away?
Yeah. Well, again, this is what truly happened. So you really you kind of had to keep it to what it, to what kind of happened.
I suppose.
But then you find out this guy's been doing it for years and years and years, but they've never found this guy. So, I mean, again, they're looking for this guy as we speak. This guy supposedly is still around.
He probably bailed. You know what I mean? If the dude gets away, it's like, all right, I got to move.
Well, but the thing, too, is I'm thinking about this, right? And I'm like, are they really looking? You know what I mean?
Not, like, what does that even mean, looking? Like, what? They're going to send fucking search parties out?
Well, they at the end of the movie, they say they interrogated the kid that survived for 4 months, right? And then they finally cleared him from all the murders.
Yeah.
And they believed his story, and then they went to go try to find this guy that he says does it, but they can't.
Yeah, well, maybe the kid did it, It's, like, hard to say.
Right. So, again, my thing is, hey, you see that one house that's there by itself? That's probably the guy. Like, how hard you looking? There's one place.
That's the thing, is like, how many people are living up in Wolf Creek, you know?
So it makes you think, like,
but here's the problem.
Did he kill them and they're blaming this other? I don't really know. But
here's the problem, though, right? Is that when they use based on a true story, it's so loose,
right?
Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre is based on a true story because it's the inspiration was Ed Gein.
Yeah, exactly.
But like that's it.
Yeah, and there's nothing.
There's nothing about
that
what
Ed
happened.
Gein and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre have in common, other than
like the lampshades and all that shit.
I mean, he had a nipple belt. He had
a nipple belt.
So
and I think he had a lampshade.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So he used some human skin
to make
things,
some shit,
and so that's about the extent
that's the only
of
thing.
Right.
You know, he wasn't even fucking in Texas.
No.
It's it's shit like that. I hate based on a true story because like they even do it with fucking like exorcism movies and shit.
Exactly.
And it's like, what do you mean based on a true story?
Well, that's the thing. Like I've watched. You ever see this show called Mysteries at the Museum?
Yeah.
On the Travel Channel.
Yeah,
I love this show.
Do you?
I love it. Love it. I've seen all of them.
Oh wow.
Right. But again, they'll tell you the real story and then what came of it. Right. So I've seen the Exorcist. Right.
Yeah.
Like what came what the
like what it was
Exorcist is based
on.
off.
Yeah.
It's not close.
No, it's Hollywood.
You know what I mean? It's like, hey, there was a boy that they believed was possessed by a demon, and they exorcised it, and he went back to normal, and that was it.
Right.
And so they, the movie was based, but that's it. I mean, that's where the connection is, nothing more.
Here's the problem: is it adds it maybe not anymore. But when back in the day, it would add to the suspense,
right?
But like now, looking back on it, it's like you motherfuckers. Like, no,
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like,
right?
So again, it
like
wasn't a great movie, but
right. You could tell a story about my life, right, and have me get mugged, and then immediately I go on a space adventure. And you could say based on a true story.
Exactly. And that's the thing. So again, it wasn't a bad movie, it wasn't a great movie,
I thought
but
the killer was good. Like he was very psycho kind of, I dig that. I like when they're crazy and they make you feel a little uncomfortable.
Right. But I like, but it's like, hey, he seems like a great guy.
Oh,
hey, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden it's like in the blink of an eye, this guy turns into an absolute psycho.
That's what I'm saying. Is like you really felt like he was a psycho.
Yeah, he was. There was danger there. You had that danger
under the surface, right?
And this guy was, he knew what he was doing, right? And that was the other part of it. He wasn't just some insane slasher. This guy was
kind of
methodical
cheeky too, though, right? Like there was almost a cheekiness to him.
So it wasn't bad. It was. It's worth a little watch.
It's a B movie, but
B movie for sure.
But we got Evil Dead coming up.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about that. I've heard nothing but good.
Yeah, that should be good.
But so I mean, I would say Beef definitely a thumbs up. I've seen Wolf Creek. It's passable.
Yeah, passable.
If you got an hour and a half to kill,
right? Exactly.
Give it a watch.
Right.
So. I wanted to cover a topic that's kind of been swirling around the internet for the past couple of weeks. So Budweiser is in some I don't want to say hot water because I don't think that's the right turn of phrase. I think what I'll call it is a marketing misstep.
Exactly what it was.
That's being blown out of proportion. For sure. But basically, you're familiar with? Yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with this.
Yes.
Dylan Mulvaney.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So she got a deal, right? And it's not as dramatic as anything. Like she has her own page and all that shit, and lots of young followers and everything.
Right.
And basically, she did a commercial. A quote-unquote commercial for Budweiser, which was just her drinking a Budweiser with a can that had her face on it.
Right.
And, the reaction was explosive.
Very explosive.
Because there's obviously some bigotry in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of it was the targeted audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Felt, like how does this relate to me?
Right.
So they try to spin it and make it about, transgender, LGBTQ politics.
Right.
And I don't think that's the case.
No.
It may be for some. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of people out there that are shitheads.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't like Dylan Mulvaney.
Well, that's going to be a big part of it, right? Is the one you've chosen isn't the best liked representative of that community.
So do you know what Dylan Mulvaney kind of like symbolizes to me?
What's that?
Toxic positivity.
Yeah. But, the other part of it, too, is, then she did a commercial for March Madness.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I don't even know what this is. I guess it's a sports thing. So,
but who is that for?
Right. And so, again,
her
that's not,
audience is going to watch that and go, oh, I should probably watch some basketball now.
Right. And the people that love March Madness, and there are hundreds of thousands of people that do,
huge.
You've just offended all those people by doing that.
Right, because
not because she's transgender, because that's a shit thing to say.
Right. It's a shitty thing to say. You can't be bothered to use a spokesman that actually cares about this shit.
Right. And it's like
it's the most fucking egregious way to market. I'm so great that they're going to give me March Madness. They're going to give me a March Madness contract, even though I don't know what the fuck it is.
Right. And, again, what would it have taken? And I know you're doing this because here's my and I've said this before and I'm going to say it again.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything about, Dylan Mulvaney has, I guess, 1 year in of transitioning. And
right.
I'm not,
their idea was to celebrate her first 365 days as a woman.
And I'm not taking that away. My problem with her is she's an actress. She's a character. She's a caricature. And I'm not saying that she's not representing the community. It's just that she's over the top.
But here's
way
the thing.
too much.
I don't think she is and again, if anybody, I know we tend to kind of come at things from a certain angle, but if anyone from the LGBTQIA plus community wants to talk about this, I'd love to.
Sure,
because
absolutely.
I don't think she represents the movement because she's been doing this for a year. She's gotten brand deals. She's been able to have surgeries that a lot of transgender people dream of.
Yeah, can't afford.
Right. So it's like, how does that represent the movement?
Right.
It's like the Kardashian version of transgenderism.
And I agree with you. And the thing is, look, how if you were told you're going to get a commercial to do March Madness, what would that have taken you to find out what that is? If you didn't know, it would literally have taken you under a minute to understand what March Madness is. The reason she did the commercial is because she's acting, she's play acting the role. And I think when you do that, I think you're misrepresenting the actual trans community.
Well, it's not even about trans. It's just about
No, it isn't. But when you do that, right, you're representing it poorly, and then the audience that does care about March Madness and the audience that does care about Bud Light is going to look at this person in the light that it shouldn't be in, and that's where all the hatred and the vitriol is coming from, because they're like, I don't care if you want to, partner with the LGBTQ community. You should, but why is this person? I don't want to be associated with this person.
So that's what it is for me. I think it was a marketing misstep because I think that, her fan base aren't the type of people to drink Bud Light. It's not an insult. It's an observation.
Here's the other thing too, right?
Yeah.
How much of her fan base do you think is legal drinking age?
Right.
I think it's very small.
So that's another part of it, right? But to me, you can't spend the last 100 years touting Macho Man Americana.
Right.
And then just you can slowly start, for example, a couple of years ago they did a Pride thing and nobody fucking batted an eye.
No one cares.
Because it's not about the movement.
Right, and it wasn't about rainbows on a can.
No, it's about the person that you're getting to do it, because honestly, it's not being said enough, but this is toxic positivity. We see it with Disney too, when they give their fucking speeches and stuff, and they talk about, all of this shit, like, oh yeah, it's finally our time. It's like this toxic positivity.
Yeah.
What you're saying is quote unquote positive, but there's you're almost weaponizing it.
Yeah. And you know, you grossly misjudged who your audience that drinks this particular beer is.
Right. And instead of owning up to it, right, and just being like, whoops, you release a fucking patriotic commercial, which is the most...
Which everybody laughed at.
Right, because it's so disingenuous.
Oh, completely disingenuous.
But that's what it is these corporate fucking idiots have their heads so far up their own asses.
Right, and then, you know, you hear these, you know, talking heads, and they're like, oh, it'll probably bounce back after the boycott is over. And here's the thing, and I wanted to touch upon this real quick.
Sure.
Just a quick story. Before a place I used to live was almost virtually across the street from McDonald's.
Okay. And
every day before work, I would go and get a coffee, right, to go into work. It was like $1, right? Yeah. I would go get a coffee. They decided they were going to remodel, right?
Oh, yeah. It's like more of an adult, like, you know, it's very modern now. Yeah. It's a fucking fast food joint that they want to feel like a hotel.
Yeah. So, but for 4 or 5 months, whatever it was, they were closed.
Yeah.
So I had to not get my coffee there anymore. I started making it from home.
Right.
And what I realized was I liked the coffee from home more.
Right. So it wasn't that much of an inconvenience.
Right. So when the McDonald's reopened, I no longer gave them my business because I've moved on.
Yeah, but I mean, it's happening with Marvel, too.
Right. But my point is, because you so grossly misjudged your audience, they've moved on to other beers. Your thought is after this blows over, they'll be back. But your beer sucks to begin with, right? It's not a very good beer.
It's lowest common denominator beer.
So if you've made these people choose to go elsewhere and they've discovered other beers, you may not get these people back only because you've made them choose a different beer, even if it's temporary and you didn't think it was going to be that long. Half of your beer drinking audience may not come back only because you made them discover other beers that they now enjoy more. So again, this was a gigantic mistake on Bud Light's part, and that VP who made this decision should have been terminated immediately just to try to save face, because you've lost $7 billion in stock valuation.
And it's bizarre to me because they really do try to spin this like you cannot tell the audience that it's their fault.
Right. Exactly.
Or the consumer that it's their fault. Oh, you don't like the person that we want to represent our brand, and as a result, you're not going to buy our brand anymore. You can't choose to be a corporate citizen.
No.
Right?
No.
And not accept the consequences of being a corporate citizen.
Yeah. And the thing is, look, if you want to have diversity and inclusion in the hiring of what you do at Anheuser-Busch, absolutely. You'd be assholes if you didn't.
Listen, you could have had a trans person market that beer. Maybe if you did a female to male trans person, it would have hit better. But the thing is, and again, it's not about supporting the LGBTQ. It's about Dylan Mulvaney being a piece of shit.
Right, but the thing is, when you look at your audience, if you did any market research before you did this, even if it wasn't Dylan Mulvaney.
But if the VP says like, oh, I want to change that, it's like, well, tough shit. This is where we're established. Right. Like, why would you want to fuck with the formula?
Right. And the thing is, I'd look at it and say,
it's new Coke.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to do that, period. Not because I have a problem with the LGBTQ community or I'm homophobic. It's not going to land with our core audience.
Right. We
can't get involved in that.
We have a core audience.
Right.
Like, that's the problem, is that you can't, and Disney's seeing it too, you can't have an established brand, and some of these brands are 100 years old, and expect to just go, well, we're going to change everything.
Right.
Just because, we think this is where everything's trending, and fuck our core audience.
Right. And the thing is, when you do this and you say, if you don't like it, you can go get fucked, and then they leave, and then you insult them for leaving.
Right. It's just like it's the most. It would be considered an abusive relationship.
Right. It's very toxic.
Right. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, you only left because you're homophobic. It's like, no, I'm not homophobic. Not by a long shot. But that doesn't mean I have to like everyone in the LGBTQIA plus community.
Right.
There are cunts in that fucking community.
Right. This is not the person that you should have chosen to represent your brand.
And I think what bothered me the most, right? What bothered me the most was CNN was doing like an interview with one of these professors or whatever of minorities in media, right? And they said, well, what do you think this is about? And his initial response was, it's white fragility and masculinity.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but it's not.
No.
But it's not white fragility and masculinity. No. I don't care if a trans person is representing Budweiser. I think that Dylan Mulvaney comes off as a piece of shit.
Right.
And I don't want to associate with brands that are pushing this person because I think this person is toxic.
Right. And what was it, a year or so ago? I forget the brand, but we had Laverne Cox. Remember, she was doing the commercials, the girl from Orange is the New Black?
Yeah.
Right? I never remembered anybody saying anything about the commercials that she was
People
starring
like
in.
Laverne Cox.
Right. Because that's the thing. It's not about being a trans person. It's about you are a piece of shit.
When I watch Dylan Mulvaney's videos, right? And look, I've said this on the cast before. I will be the first one to come out and say there are beautiful trans women.
Absolutely there are.
The chicken Hellraiser,
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah. You
Gorgeous.
wouldn't know unless she told you.
I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Not that
Listen,
you would care, but you wouldn't know.
If she said, hey, let's go on a date, I'm down. Even if
Sure.
I know, I'm down. Like,
Sure.
whatever. What I'm saying is this. When I watch Dylan Mulvaney's videos, though, what I see is rage.
Yeah.
It's just, she looks so angry, right? And
Yeah.
then she's delivering this positive quote unquote message in her videos, but there's just something about her body language that makes her look like she's like ready to fucking fight.
But you know what it is to me when I watch her,
Yeah.
she's not accepting of others, but she tries to put the message across that she is.
Well, it's
but you can
difficult to have
tell
a
that you're not.
It's just difficult to have a dialogue with these people.
Right.
Because it's like, hey, I agree you deserve health care. I agree you deserve rights. I don't agree that you are the best spokesperson for Tampax.
Right.
I don't think that saying you don't know what March Madness is makes you good for March Madness.
Exactly.
Like if you were like a if you were like Sephora or something, like you want to do advertising with them, sure, you wear you wear makeup.
Yeah.
Like you can really speak to that.
Right, but the thing is, if you were trying to be cute by saying that, like, I don't even know what March Madness is. If your intent was to be
you come
cute,
across as an asshole.
but there's nobody out there watching that's going to get what you're trying to accomplish. People are going to look at it like you're a piece of shit.
Do you know what it is? Plug it into anything. Plug that statement into anything. I don't even know what The Witcher is.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it works for everything.
Yeah. Imagine walking out when they just had the Star Wars day, walking out on stage and like, I don't know what Star Wars is, but
happened?
I'm happy to be here.
What do you mean? That fucking happened.
Who?
Did you watch the Star Wars Day shit?
Yeah.
Okay. Leslie Hadley or whatever.
No. But they're pretending they know what it is.
Oh yeah, if they were just like saying the quiet part out loud.
I'm saying right.
Yeah.
I'm saying if they actually walked out there and said what the truth is, that they don't know what the fuck Star Wars is.
Yeah.
That you know what I mean. But yeah, they at least pretended, and that's all I'm saying. All you had to do was pretend, even if you didn't know what March Madness is. Pretend you do. Pretend you love it. Then maybe you'd get some acceptance
say, like,
there.
Hey, I didn't have a lot of experience, but when I found out that they wanted me to be a spokesman, I tuned right in.
Exactly.
Like that's all you have to fucking say.
Right. It's that easy.
But no, you have to be like, I'm so important to the world.
Right.
that I don't even need to know what I'm selling.
Right. And then the end was, well, whatever team you love, I love too. Like, people don't want to hear that shit. It's not going to go across well with your audience. The audience doesn't want to hear, well, I don't know anything about March Madness and I don't know any of the teams that are a part of it, but I love your team because you love your team, because I love everybody and everybody should love everybody. And
Everybody should love everybody.
Well, you know what I'm saying. Yes,
No.
Of course they should.
But there's a way to deliver that. Right? Where healthy competition doesn't mean you don't care about someone.
Right.
And sports, you don't love every team. It's not like you hate truly with your core the other team.
No, there may be a team that you hate.
Sure, but it's surface level hate.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Nobody's like, oh yeah, that fucking,
No, I want them all to die in a fiery bus crash.
But it's just, again, it's this positive toxicity. It's I don't know if you saw the thing where she was coming at people that were throwing shade at her, right? And she says this line that's almost a threat where she's like, I just care about you and I don't want something that you said 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago to come back and haunt you. And it's just like, what does that mean?
Right.
It's like, but she says it like in a positive voice.
Yeah, that means I'm going to save it.
Right.
We're gonna James Gunn this situation. In 10 years from now, something you said is gonna all of a sudden pop up, and we're gonna try to use it to cancel you.
It's difficult because, again, I understand that trans people have tremendous challenges, even ahead of them. Right. Acceptance is not. I don't think that enough people are ready to accept.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
And it's a shame because I think it's such a misguided opinion not to allow people just to live. However, I think what's worse is that instead of us being able to say, like, look, live and let live and all that shit, right? We've targeted quote unquote white masculine fragility as the problem to everything.
Right. Exactly.
Does it exist? Yep. Is it a problem? For sure.
Sure.
When it pops up. Do I have to like every woman? Nope. Do I have to like everyone who's a different complexion as me? Nope. But I don't dislike them because they're a woman or a different complexion. That means nothing.
Right.
That means nothing. That is surface level bullshit. I don't like them because of the person that they are.
Right.
If you're a shitty person, your sex, your religion, your skin color doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're a shitty person.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I think that now a lot, not all, because again, I guarantee that there's going to be a good portion of the people that are not drinking this beer anymore and are boycotting it are homophobic. Absolutely. But I also think that there is a good portion of people that just don't like the person you've chosen to be the representative. And if that's what you've chosen,
we can't even have that talk. Like, just saying, like, look, fuck the homophobes, right? And if they want to bail, let them fucking bail.
Sure.
Like, good luck.
Right.
But it can't just be like, look, I don't like your you just, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. The problem is this, though, right? Is that over the last 60 years, right, we have touted capitalism. We've touted it. It's the fucking answer, right? That's capitalism, baby.
Right.
You did something that your consumers don't like. They voted with their wallets. You are losing money. That's capitalism.
Sure it is.
And this corporation is like, whoa. We don't actually practice capitalism. What are you doing here?
Right.
You homophobes. And that's fucked up.
Right.
Like, yeah, you played, you gambled, you lost.
Right. But you know what's funny about the whole thing too is you had the senior level executives come out and say that didn't run by us. We didn't
who's
approve
making these
that.
decisions?
They're
then?
saying that the VP did it herself, that didn't get approval from the higher ups that typically would approve those things, because they probably wouldn't have approved it as much as they want to work with, the LGBTQ and influencers and all that.
See, but what I don't understand is like
approved this.
Fire her.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But if that's true, then she should have been fired immediately, because even if you rebound, what if you don't? And because you've taken the hit, why wouldn't you immediately fire her and get some goodwill back from your consumer base that you're fixing the problem?
And the problem is she gambled. She's like, oh, if this works, I'm going to be the golden child.
Right.
And it didn't work.
No.
And it's like your gamble, and it didn't work so badly that you've lost a huge market share.
Right. And the thing is, you sat there and said, the reason I'm going to do this is because we've got to get rid of that frat brother type of mentality. And then you do this, and then all these pictures come out, and you're at all these frat parties.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's exactly what you were when you were in college. And then, again, so it becomes disingenuous at the fact that, oh, you're only saying this now, you've changed your mind because you're looking at this new woke agenda that you feel is going to get you somewhere. So you made a calculated risk, you gambled, and you failed. So, okay, just fix the problem now. Fix the problem by getting rid of her, trying to get your consumer base back, but also say, this doesn't mean we're not going to, continue to use people of the LGBTQ community. We are.
Which is great.
Right. But this just happened to be...
You picked the wrong spokesperson.
This was a mismatch. This didn't work.
And here's the thing. I don't like Dylan Mulvaney because I think she's very insincere, and I think she's very toxic positivity. Mm-hmm. But I don't think she's really done anything to merit like any type of like banishment or cancellation or anything like that. Just understand that, that flavor is not for everybody.
Right. Exactly. You made the wrong choice in who you've chosen. And again, because realistically, if it really is only all about the fact that it's a trans person,
right,
then go fuck yourself, all of you. Then I wouldn't want those people back, because that is homophobia, and that's all that is. And I wouldn't want to cater to those people.
No. Those people need... Look, that mentality and thought process, that is a dying, old school process that is going to go away because it's wrong.
Right, exactly.
But it's just so crazy to me. It's so crazy. Before we move off of this topic, I wanted to cover one more kind of business trend that's going on right now, right? So there's a global office furniture company by the name of Miller Knoll.
Okay.
And their CEO went viral because her name is Andy Owen, and she did a town hall for her employees, right? And basically, they got all the questions on the side, and she's answering questions or whatever. And a question came up about like, hey, it's been really tough this year, and it has. Sure. We've been circling a recession. Like things are tough.
Very
things are tough for everybody.
Yeah, inflation's very high.
Right, inflation's high. The interest rates keep going up. Like it's tough for the normies.
Right.
It's tough now.
It's tough.
And so, they were asking like, hey, we heard that we weren't going to get, bonuses this year. A lot of us really rely on that just to live.
Right.
And she went on a tirade. And she said something along the lines of, so they needed like $26 million more this fiscal year in revenue or else they were withholding bonuses. And she said some bullshit about You should spend your time focusing on the 26 million instead of getting a bonus. You know, I need a commitment for that.
That's the right thing to say.
That's how she started.
Yeah.
And then she said some bullshit about, I had an old, like, this is a quote. I had an old boss who said to me one time, you can visit Pity City, but you can't live there. So people, leave Pity City. Let's get it done. Thank you. Have a great day. Yeah. And then she finishes mouthing the word boom. Then it comes out she took a $5 million bonus. And
these fucking people.
Her damage control, this is what the greatest thing. No press release. She released a statement to NPR.
Okay.
Saying what I said was taken out of context.
Oh, yeah.
It's on fucking video.
Right. Of course it is.
Like, what a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. That, you know, and again,
I don't know why we tolerate these people.
But we had that happen at Disney just a short time ago, the same thing.
It's happening everywhere.
Right.
It's happening at Facebook, just laid off a ton of people, and now they announced more layoffs.
But the executives are getting their bonuses.
Yeah.
They're getting their bonuses while everybody else is getting their pink slips.
Oh, it is insane to me.
Yeah.
It is absolutely insane. And like I don't know what they think, because I can't imagine, you know, people are going to keep just laying down and taking this shit.
Right. Well, you know, cuz here's the thing,
especially with AI coming up.
Right. But the thing is, if the executives are taking their bonuses, that would mean they're doing a good job. But if you're losing money and you're needing to cut
but
costs,
they're not. But here's the problem: they're not fucking losing money. They are posting record profits every year.
No, I'm just saying though, if that's the excuse you're using to not give bonuses or firing people,
like Nintendo when the Wii came out, the Wii U, they fucked up on that, and their stock took a nosedive, right? And they took a huge hit that year, and the CEO sacrificed his salary.
Right, I remember that.
He actually sadly passed.
Right,
but that is the mark of a leader. That's the mark of a true CEO. You misstepped.
Right,
you fucked up. Your company took a hit. And he said, I'm not only not taking a bonus, I'm renouncing my salary for this year.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. You're the leaders. So you people are the ones that fucked up because you're overseeing all the things that went wrong and you didn't fix it. So where do you get off taking your bonuses for doing a good job when clearly you didn't? And then you're handing out, like in Disney's case, you're about to hand out 7,000 pink slips starting next Monday, and yet your executives are fattening their wallets, saying how great, how did you do a good job? You just lost billions upon billions of dollars, but yet the executives, they're getting their bonuses like everything is great.
Because the thing of it is, right, is that they blame the worker.
Right, exactly.
Which is crazy.
Right. The worker has a limited amount that they can control.
Right. And it's like, and the other problem to it is the wealth gap is so extreme now.
Yes.
$5 million, if you gave me $5 million, my troubles are over.
Right, exactly.
Period.
Right.
Like I got it all figured, like, great, have a good one.
Right, absolutely.
Catalyst is going to get all new equipment. I'm hiring people.
Right.
Like the house is getting taken care of. Like my shit is done. If you gave me $1 million, my shit is done.
Right.
For life. But this fucking woman can take a $5 million bonus.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you the problem is this, right? What are you fuckers even really spending it on? Is it really worth it? Like once you have the big house and the big vacation home and the jet, even if you like 4 Lamborghinis, they're fucking, it's all the same shit.
Right. I mean, the thing is, I have a yacht, but I want a bigger yacht. But you already have a fucking yacht.
It's like, oh, cool, you got like 3 more rooms that you're never going to go in. Like,
Right.
what, does it really fucking matter?
No, it doesn't.
No,
It doesn't.
You've beaten the game, and the problem is because of the way society functions, you're like we're all miserable, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you beat the game.
Right.
And there's nothing left. It's just like, oh, you won capitalism. Like, what you gonna do now? Well, I'm just
Right.
gonna compete with the other people that beat the game. And it's like, but for what?
Right,
There's
exactly.
no prize.
Right.
There's no fucking prize.
No.
You know what the prize is for people like us that beat capitalism? Freedom.
Right.
That's it.
Exactly.
The prize for them is not like, oh yeah, Bezos has a bigger house or a bigger yacht or he gets to go to space. Like, cool.
Right. But yeah, exactly. What does that mean at the end of the day? Okay, so I have 4 houses across the planet.
Right.
Okay,
Great,
cool.
cool. But like it's a house.
Right.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's 4
Yeah.
fucking walls.
And
like,
how much do you in the one that you have in friggin' Hawaii? How often do you go? Maybe once a year. Great. Why do you need it? Because I just need it. Like they don't. That's the thing. They
there's
don't.
no thought that goes into
No.
it at all. It's great. And the thing of it is, right? I'm not begrudging anyone. You want a
Sure.
vacation home and a nice car and everything. It's cool to have hobbies and wants and stuff.
Sure.
But like somebody that has 5 Lamborghini or like Jay Leno with all his fucking car, like, bro, I get it. You like antique cars or whatever, but like you don't like if you have one, they're all the fucking same. They really are.
Right. But at least Jay Leno is a collector of antique cars, right? The guy next to him has the same amount of cars, and you ask him, and it's like, I don't know why. I
Right,
just
like,
do.
look,
I just spend money because I have money to spend.
It's a hobby for him, and it truly is because he almost
Right.
killed himself doing
Exactly.
it. So you know it's a hobby,
Right,
right?
right.
It ain't a hobby until you shed a little blood.
Right.
The guy who buys 10 Lamborghini, like fucking Andrew Tate with his Bugattis and shit. Like, do you actually like Bugattis, or
Right.
do you just want to be the guy that has the most expensive car?
Exactly. Again, it's one of those things. It's like Batman, right?
Yeah.
Do you like
the 2 Batmobiles?
No. But it's like from Batman 1989.
Yeah.
Do you actually like this room? I think this is the first time I've ever been in it.
Right, yeah,
That's
yeah. They
that's
got
the
the
way it is.
joke.
Right. It's like
But the wealth gap wasn't how it was back then either.
No, but it's even it's 10 times worse now.
And
but
that's the thing, right? And so what I think is kind of interesting is that I've seen a lot of the younger generations, like, because again, I'm on TikTok, because I feel like it kind of keeps me at least, I'm an old man now, but it keeps me with the times,
Right.
A little bit. At
Sure.
least I know what the younger generation is saying.
yeah, exactly.
And they say this shit about like, yeah, in college and stuff, like wealthy kids will look you dead in the eye and ask you the most insane shit. Like, just like, oh, where do you summer?
Right.
It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I got to work over the summer. What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
Yeah, where do I summer? At the beach. I work at the
I
ice
get to-
cream
right.
stand.
I get to go to the
because,
beach once. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying is like they're so out of touch. And they're just as miserable. It's not like
Right.
they like, oh yeah, they got all the money. No, everybody. If they weren't miserable, they would stop.
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, they just, again, there's a different type of misery that they have than people that don't know where,
I
their
think it's
bills
wor-
are coming
Dude, it's
from.
worse because, you can grind to pay the bills, but once you beat the game, all you have is to compete with the fucking other pieces of shit.
Right.
It's that sounds horrible.
But
to
the
me.
thing is, if you've beaten the game, though,
Yeah.
your job at that point is to understand that the people below you haven't, and have some compassion, because you need those people to work hard for you to keep the money machine going.
Right, but you really don't. Like, that's the craziest thing. Is
you
like
don't if you-
the problem is going to be when AI really gets going.
Sure.
because it's going to wipe out a ton of jobs.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
a
it will.
ton. It's
Yeah.
going to be crazy. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm looking to see where that's going to go.
Yeah.
All right. Before we close out, I just want to cover a couple of quick things on Disney
Okay.
because they're my favorite fucking yeah.
Favorite punching
So-
bag.
Oh my god, it's so easy.
Yes.
So it's looking like Jonathan Majors is going to be out.
Yeah, I mean, now that other women are coming.
Not even just that, his representation is his PR.
Well, the PR and his management team have fired him.
Yeah, that's a death sentence.
That's a tale that there lets you know that something bigger is coming.
The problem is with these when these abuse allegations always come out, there's always, look, as ugly as it is, there is a percentage of women that lie just to get on the bandwagon.
Right. We know this through Amber Heard now that exists.
Sure. Thanks for that, Amber.
Right.
But if 10 women come out and only one of them's telling the truth, that's still one woman.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think the right thing to do, you got to get rid of him. You fired Johnny Depp from Pirates of the Caribbean, and he won his court case.
Yeah.
This dude is facing assault allegations, and now more women are coming forward, and it's like his management team dropped him, his PR team. You're in a death spiral.
Right. But then also it was said when this came out, it was also said, people in the know, quote unquote, the know, were like, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That's a reputation he has. We didn't hear about it, but the people in the know knew this was what he was
when
about.
They're spilling the tea.
Right. So now it's coming out.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think that this guy is one of these guys that you got to walk away from.
I think so.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because he has a massive talent.
Yeah, he's a great actor, no doubt about it.
But you can't be hurting people.
No. No.
So I think we'll probably have a replacement for Kang.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a little more Little Mermaid controversy, huh?
Yeah.
That's popped up yet again.
Yeah.
They can't just, we can't go a week without them doing something fucking ridiculous.
Well, I mean, again, what you've done is, you had the controversy of changing the song for getting consent because I don't need a man. I'm going to do everything on my own. I don't need a man at all.
But I want one.
But I'm going to consent to it.
Right.
Now it's like, well, I don't need a man to save me.
Right.
I'm going to save everybody myself because I don't need anybody. I'm the best. And there's nobody better than me. And that's the new change to the ending that's going to be happening with this version.
It's wild.
Yeah, and
this
it's like,
shit is wild. Like,
right.
It just comes across, all of this corporate bullshit just comes across as so disingenuous.
Right. But the thing is, if you take into consideration the changing of the song, and you take into consideration how you don't need a man,
right.
And you take into consideration that she's going to be the savior now,
right?
And everybody is shitting on this movie, hating it. If she was white, do you think that the hatred of this would be any less?
No.
Of course it wouldn't.
The problem is that when you bring male and female into it, now you're isolating 50% of the population.
Right.
So it's like, all right, well, if you don't, like, we need each other. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, Eric needs her too.
Right.
That was always the thing.
Right.
But instead, it's just like, nah, you really need me, Eric, but I don't need you. And it's like, all right, we'll see you later. And then you have no story.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's wild to me.
Yeah. And the thing is, they just don't get it. Disney, it just doesn't get it.
But, like, what do you do? Like, I saw somebody made a comment the other day, right, that, they were bitching about Rey coming back for Star Wars. And, and again, I don't think Rey as a character, theoretically is the worst thing that came out of Star Wars. I think the way that they kind of portrayed her is awful.
Right.
But, like, having a female Jedi as the lead is fine. Ahsoka, baby. Like, sign me up. But what I don't like, I don't know where I was going with it. What was I? Oh, right. So what I don't like is that, so I was reading on Reddit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the people were bitching about it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then someone made a comment that I thought was really poignant. And it's like, well, this is who this is for. And it showed, like, a little girl at Disney World, like, hugging the Rey character. And I was like, sure.
Right.
Absolutely. At the end of the, look, I have no illusions. At the end of the day, Star Wars is for children.
Sure.
to a point.
Sure.
Right? It is. It's classic tales that are easy to digest, and it was always for young people.
And a hero's journey.
Right,
and,
but it was always it was always marketed to young people, right? Maybe not kids, but like teenagers and stuff like
more
that.
More to the teens, I'd say, but
sure.
yeah.
But the problem that, I don't mind that Rey is the hero. I never did. What I mind is that it's Palpatine's granddaughter, and you fuck the story up. Mm-hmm. That's what I mind. I don't care that it's a woman that's the hero.
Yeah. What I mind, though, is, Luke.
Right.
Luke represented the best to come out of the Jedi.
Right.
And Luke was the ultimate Jedi.
Right. And then Leia represented the best that came out of politics.
Right. And then it was like...
And military.
Right. And then it's like, oh, no. By the way, Rey is better than you, and you. Immediately, without doing anything, automatically better. And it's like, no, that's what everybody had a problem with. Everybody had a problem with you haven't earned shit, but you're automatically better. You're better, and this is what Marvel does in the MCU
too. The
too.
mistake is, and I think this is kind of interesting, because I'm not saying that Rey couldn't be better than Luke.
Sure, maybe.
I'm gonna say that, right?
Sure, maybe.
But you better take her on a fucking hero's journey that convinces me that she's better, instead of just being like, yeah, she's better.
Right. But it
happened in She-Hulk,
right? But the thing is, I'm better than you. Okay, how do you mean? I don't have to prove it. I just am. And if you don't accept that I am, then you're a homophobe. You're a racist.
You're a misogynist.
Right. That's what we get. It's like we're just saying, no one's saying Rey couldn't be better than Luke. But show me the journey to prove that to me.
Her struggle needs to be, okay, Luke is gone. Mm-hmm. You need to fill his shoes now.
Right.
Like, good luck, kid.
Yeah, and maybe you never will.
Right, but that's the mountaintop.
Right.
And maybe you don't, but it's much more satisfying to see someone make that climb and then succeed. And I'm fine if you do 3-4 movies of her trying to be better.
Yeah.
Right? And then ultimately achieving that goal, and then we change the canon and say, well, actually, Rey is the best.
Yeah.
But you earn it.
Right. Or say, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to be the best Palpatine, and I'm going to be the evilest villain because I turned. Either way.
Right.
Great storytelling.
But you got to go on the other side, right? Even on the other side, you better be better than you need to. You're living in Sheev's shadow.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So take the journey, show us all the trials and tribulations that you're going through to ultimately get where you need to go. And then at the end, let the fans decide where you fell, whether you're better, whether you're slightly just below, whatever. But take us on the journey and give us the substance.
You can't cut the hero's journey out.
Completely
and
cut it out.
And then just say, like, well, they were on the journey, but we're not showing it, and if you don't like it, go fuck yourself.
Right, exactly.
It's wild. All right, let's put this one to bed.
Okay.
What's going on?
Hey, we're getting ready. We're getting ready. We made the announcement last week, but let's make the announcement again, just so if anybody didn't hear it, what we got planned coming up.
So we are going to be at our first convention.
Yep.
It's going to be on May 6th.
Yep.
At double midnight at the factory in Manchester, New Hampshire, on Beach Street. Come by. I mean, there's going to be some cool shit there. There's going to be a lot of vendors. There's going to be, they have a Stranger Thing set.
Yeah, I mean, you can cosplay for all your favorite characters.
They're doing cosplay, and it's free comic book day on top of it all.
I mean, there's face painters there. There's going to be food trucks. It's going to be a massive event. That's going to, it's very family friendly.
Jim's going to have some art prints out there. Yep. We'll have some Catalyst merchandise and everything. Some stuff we're not selling on the store.
Right.
So you'll be able to get your hands on some exclusive merch. And, aside from that, we're cooking. I mean, the podcast is still going real strong.
Real strong.
We're over 1,000 already, and we're only about 2/3 of the way through the month.
Exactly.
So we'll see where we go with that.
Right.
And, But that's it. You guys know where we're at. CatalystCrafting.com is the main website. Catalyst Creations NH is the Etsy store. And if you're in the area on the 6th, even if you're not, fucking get down here and come hang out with us.
Yeah, we'd love to meet you.
Tell me how wrong I am about all of the shit we talk about. But, what do you guys think? I mean, have you seen Beef? Am I crazy, or is it actually as good as I'm saying? Did you like Wolf Creek? Do you like those kind of B horror movies? How do you feel about this Budweiser thing and Dylan Mulvaney? Like, does it bother you? Do you not give a shit? Like, where do you sit on it? And what are your thoughts on the way Disney is kind of conducting itself? Not even just Disney, just these fucking businesses, doing their thing. Let us know in the comments. All right, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.